But do you know what's interesting about Lovesick is first of all, it's written from the person who is the harasser. So it's about them, and it shows you how deluded they are in thinking like everything this person does might be a clue to their feelings for them. But of course, the person they're obsessed with doesn't even know they exist, right? So it takes you into their psychology and their delusion and how they're looking for little signs and things that aren't really there. But originally, I wrote Lovesick with a male protagonist. So it was a male systems administrator in a small office who was obsessed with a female colleague. And I couldn't get anyone interested in that script. So I decided to reverse the genders and make it a female protagonist. And then suddenly everyone thought, oh, this is a really kind of rampant dark comedy. Suddenly it was funny when the perpetrator was a woman.
Is the female character harassing the male?
That's it. A female character harassing a male character. Yeah. and that makes people laugh. Whereas the other way around, it's kind of a horror story.
Or it's we have seen it, in our day-to-day life. We have seen it in books, in Netflix. Like, there's no real need to see it again. So I think another thing you added to me is the element of surprise.
Sure.
Like, at least people want to know what is this about, because it's the next one thing I find interesting. It's always the man harassing the woman, and in most cases, yes. Like, I'm not defending here my gender, but there are cases that is not. And actually, in my own experience, I can tell women are much more resentful than us when it comes to rejection. And there's a huge reason for that, because we are rejected all the time. It's a fact, no? Like, most guys, when they approach a woman, they know that the odds of being rejected are, I don't know, 8 out of 10.
Yes.
Something like that. And for women, is the other way around. Maybe it's like 1 out of 10. Like, for a woman not to get into a man, into, let's say, romantic terms, there are only things that can happen. Either the guy is not into women, so she pick up someone who is homosexual or something like that, or the guy is committed to his current partner, and he's fully dedicated to her and doesn't want to have any other affair, or there is no physical attraction, which is it's very rare. So we are talking about a very small percentage, and of course that mess up with women's psyche.
I think it can do, and I think also if you feel kind of misled in any way, I think that's something that can make people very. They can feel a need for some closure on that situation that they didn't receive as it was playing out, and I think that is a motivator for people who've been rejected, definitely, to try and pursue and have a final conversation and all this kind of thing. But I think in Lovesick, the main character is rejected and has been rejected in the past and will be rejected in the future, because she does clearly have some emotional problems that are leading her to pursue someone who isn't interested at all in an unpleasant way, in a very unpleasant way. Which can happen to anyone. It can happen to men, it can happen to women. I think one of the things I was interested in when I was writing on Hooked, I was very aware that I was presenting a female character who has been abused by a male partner, which is, it's fine. It's a representative experience. And maybe if I was a male performer, I might be able to write about a male protagonist going through that situation, but I simply have to work with the tools that I have available. So we have a female character, and I do feel a little bit sad that I couldn't get into a male experience of being on the other side of that, because they seem to me to be the most marginalized and underrepresented and disenfranchised population of people who have survived or experienced relationship abuse.
Yes,
we probably do need
100%.
conversations about that. Yeah,
because it's kind of awkward for a guy. Yeah, it's kind of awkward for a guy to say I was object of sexual harassment. Like,
yes, yeah,
it just doesn't add up if a guy say that, and it can happen. It can happen. Like,
yes,
you can be chased by someone who is out of their mind, and if you tell that to your mates, they'll just say, "Oh, okay, just tell you're not interested," and that's it. Because I think, like, it's hard for men to have conversations when it comes to emotions, so we end up in a extremely dark place when there is no one to talk to. So of course, I don't want to play here victim, but it can be very, very tough for some guys, or
yes,
or,
yeah.
or your friends can say, okay, just sleep with her for 2 times and she'll be happy. And it's not
Not
about
really,
that.
yes, no.
That's not a solution. That you only make it worse.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's really, really hard. So I'm
yeah,
not overlooking that. It's just not for me to tell that story. But one of the elements I did want to look at in Unhooked was how anyone can end up in an abusive relationship. And I think there are a lot of people wandering around thinking, well, that wouldn't happen to me because I'm smarter than that, or because I'm very independent. And also, you could be thinking it won't happen to me because I'm a man. But it could happen to any of those people. It can happen to anyone. Can have the bad luck to meet the wrong person. So that's one of the messages.